Good afternoon, Lick and classmate. My name is Johnny, and today I'm gonna share with you my gallery walk. This is for the subject didactics of the English language. Okay, the grammar translation method. How the method it was originated? This method it was originated by the practice of Latin in the 16th century. This it was most useful and it was introduced in Latin and the ancient Greek because that language it was the most spoken in that age. But after that, how that language it wasn't like really useful, it was moved and introduced to German schools by Karl Platt and Johann Schinsterkers. After that, this language, this methodology, it was spread all over the Europe and United States. They were using this method because it was really useful at that moment to learners be able to understand the English rules, and also they they were able to translate different articles and literature. In the second word is America, the United States, they changed this methodology because they they were needing like the soldiers were able to speak quickly the English and understand. That's why they were introducing the audiolingual method. And then, what are the principles for this method? Well, the principle for this method it is to develop reading and writing on each learner. The main goal is to develop the English rule, and at the end of this process, the student is going to be able to identify the missing words, and also they will need to be able to structure a good sentences based on the rules. Grammar rules teach presented and studies explicitly because all the rules are gonna be explained explicitly to the learners be able to understand. The mother tongue is used because to explain the the principal rules we need to start with the basic, and at the beginning the learners they are not going to be able to speak English. That's why we will need to use the mother tongue to provide a good explanation, and each rule it will need to be really clear for each of them. Translation exercise because as long as they learn the rules they will need to be able to translate from their from their mother tongue to the English method. In this case, to the English language, a foreign language, because this is based to translate, right? Literature or different information. What are the teacher roles? The teacher has a different rules into the room. First, provide good methodology because they will need to explain the grammar translation method clear to the learners be able to understand really quick. Control all the activities. The teacher need to develop different method and activities to be able to provide information to the learners. In case a learner doesn't understand a rule, they can raise their hand and ask to the teacher. Instructions and grammar, explanations in the mother tongue. As we mentioned before, the teacher he is going to be in charge to explain in the mother tongue to provide a clear explanation and learners be able to understand grammar rules and provide different examples, right? Okay, in that case the teacher he will need to provide different exercises to make sure the students are learning the different rules and also the vocabulary he is teaching into the room. For example, we have the example that says Peter. We can see there is an space gets angry. What it means? Peter, the students need to understand and provide the answer for which word or verb we are missing. In that case, it is Peter always gets angry. And then, what is the student's role? The students they will need to memorize vocabulary because the teacher will be providing the rules, but the students they need to learn, understand, learn, and memorize the vocabulary. The grammar rules, they need to memorize the grammar rules required for reading and writing and translation method skills. The teacher will provide information, but they will need to keep and learn the whole information it is provided into the room. Is there any negative aspect about using it with children? Yes, there is, because this method is very formal and sometimes it may be a little boring for some students. And because there is not much interaction into the room, only the teacher will be providing the information because he is going to be in charge for each activity. The activities for this method, the grammar translation method, are going to be a little quiz, right? Regarding to make sure that the learner have understand or understood the methodology, and also because this method doesn't care about the students' feelings because it's not really close. It's not closer with the students. It's most formal than anything. Advantage and disadvantages. Well, one of the first advantages is focus in grammar accuracy because the teacher will not tolerate any grammar mistakes because it's really focusing in grammar and the students need to understand each grammar rule. The second advantage it is students improve in reading and writing because as long as they understand the rules and grammar structure, they will be able to complete any type of quiz. They will be able to identify which words we are missing in a specific sentence. That can be one of the advantage. As long as we know what we are talking about or we understand the rules, we are gonna be able to share our ideas. One of the disadvantages for grammar translation method, there is not a speaking practice. So some of the learners they are gonna be afraid to speak. They will be able to understand. They're gonna be able to read, understand, translate, but they are not going to be confident in speaking. That's the only problem they will have. Sometimes we may be missing the proper articulation for each word. The second disadvantage, there is not much English interaction. There is not English interaction, even there is not interaction between the students and the teacher because they are focused in just learning the English structure. The method appropriate for elementary school EFL classes? Yes, the EFL it is English foreign language. But why? Because this is for beginners. As long as we learn the rules, we are gonna be able to speak. We need to start learning something and we need to use a specific methodology to be able to provide our ideas clearly. How effective is the grammar translation method to provide students with meaningful input? Is really effective because if the students learn the rules, because that's the basic of the English grammar, there are too many rules that we need to memorize them. Maybe we are not going to use them at all every single day, but we need to know the different rules. As long as we know which rule we will need to apply or the sentence we will need to use to share a specific idea when someone asks a specific information or we are talking about a specific topic, that will provide us a good input because if we learn the structure, we are gonna learn everything about the English, the grammar, the structure, the rules, everything is together, right? To be able to be efficient and be accuracy when we are talking. And that's everything for today. Thank you so much for watching my video. One of the biography that I used was Wikipedia. I used Canvas to develop my gallery walk and the class recording from my link. Have a wonderful day and be safe.